Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. I wanted to share with you today a nice little exercise called a shrimp squat that you can do anywhere, anytime, in a business meeting, on the subway, while you're grocery shopping, just kind of drop down into it. And then all of the more normal contexts while you're getting your lower body workout on, or doing total body stuff, circuits, whatever. This movement requires a fair bit of concentration, so definitely kind of taking your time with it and trying to get a good handle on the stability component of it is very important. Let's see, I'm not going to do the full shebang wherein you're holding your leg behind you while doing the movement. I think technically that's the full shrimp squat, but I just wanted to share with you today the version that I'm a fan of and practice kind of here and there. I go in and out of this movement. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do at the moment without access to gyms and studios, etc. You can do it outside, in your apartment, home, whatever. And in order to play around with some of the regressions to the movement, if the full shebang is a little too much too soon, a yoga block is supremely helpful. What I've noticed with clients, and myself to a certain extent as well, is if you don't have yet the mobility required for the movement, or perhaps a combination of the mobility and stability and strength, because this movement really does demand all three of those things, then simply performing the motion to a surface that's higher than the ground can be very, very helpful as a means to start playing with it. So if you feel confident with your mobility, stability, and strength in your lower body, then the full shebang would look like this. What I like to do while I'm doing this is do sets of 5 repetitions per leg, and just alternate legs as I go about my workout. So I bend my leg behind me, slowly come down to the ground, make contact, a big strong push up. Then I would alternate, take my time, creeping along. You'll see that this side is a little tougher for me. And then from there, I would continue finishing my set, alternating legs. It's very important to keep your back as straight as you can keep it. The tendency is going to be to round forward, and if you find yourself, doing something like this, wherein you're really creeping forward like that, that might be because your body currently lacks mobility at the ankle joint and or your hip. The body will always find a way around excessive tightness in the joints to perform the movement that you're asking it to perform. So the more you know about the body and the more you know about movement and how things are supposed to look and feel, the more you can detect when your body is sneaking around something or compensating versus executing properly what it is that you're trying to execute. So I'll go on my bad leg. I'm trying to be very aware of my spine as I'm going down so as not to get into that compensation pattern. So I put a little curvature in my spine, and I try as best I can to hold on to it as I do my set. Again, putting a little curve in my lower back, Trying to keep my spine tall and straight. And I do my thing. That's the shrimp squat that I like to play around with. It's not the full expression of the movement, but it's an excellent expression, I think, of the movement. Now, as I said, if that version doesn't feel good, if it's a little painful on the knee, or if you're finding you're just not able to come to the ground yet, this is where the good old yoga block comes in handy, because you can select one or go through all of them, one of the 3 different heights to start the movement from. You can either set the block here, here, or here. And the purpose is to give you a surface that you can actually contact your knee to. Hello there, ladies. Annie just came over to say hello. Hello. Oh yes, she's a master of the shrimp squat. Hello, sweetie. So, using the block for its various options, it would look like this. If I wanted to start with the highest one, which sometimes is just a nice way to kind of warm up the pattern versus launching into the whole shebang. Excuse me, Annie. Excuse me, love. Annie's helping out here. Excuse me, sweetheart. Excuse me. Thank you. Okay, so the full shebang, well, starting from this, the maximum height would look like this. A lot of the same abilities are needed. You just need a little less mobility, a little less stability and strength, but honestly, not much. The cues through the spine and the core remain the same. And I would just be coming down, gently touching the yoga block and repeating from there. Now the difference is when you use the yoga block is that I would recommend anyway, doing all of your repetitions on one side and then switching over to the other leg and doing your repetitions from there. Because it's a bit of a pain to switch back and forth, which you would do for the full version. So yeah. So this would be the easiest option with the block. This would be number 2. Same thing, but now it's a little lower, so you gotta go a little deeper. Coming down, gentle contact, coming up, and the lowest option would be that. You see that okay? So this is 2-3 inches off the ground. So it's still affording me less depth that I have to contend with, and yet it's still an excellent challenge and a way to slowly work your way towards the full expression of the movement. Same thing. You're always going to be very, very close to the block when you're setting up to work with it. Everything's the same throughout the core, tall spine. You're going to feel this a lot in your quad and your glute. Ooh, almost lost it there. So that's my setup. Sometimes it's better to have your foot a little farther in front of the block, because just because of the natural mechanics of the movement. You're not going straight up and down with that non-working back leg like an elevator. The back leg is kind of, well, it's moving backwards. So this will help a little bit. Little touch. Back up I go. So that is one version of the shrimp squat with 3 different depth/height progressions that you can play around with. And yeah, if you try this movement, I'd love to hear about how your experience goes. And if you have any questions about it, as always, drop me a message and I'll try my best to help you out. All the best, have fun, keep moving, and be well.